It looks like we are now live. Go ahead and put some music really quickly. There we go. And it looks like we're already starting to get here. Hello, everybody. We are going to be attempting this week's version of Abyss. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I do not like this Abyss. I think, by far, I think this is probably the least free-to-play friendly Abyss there has been so far, and I know that a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me on this one, because a lot of people are going to be able to beat this relatively easily. I'll go over through some of the problems that I have with this particular Abyss in a bit. We'll go through them in a bit. I pretty much just want to go ahead and I want to say that I've been having a lot of fun with a lot of the Inazuma content, but I knew once I saw a lot of the enemies that this Abyss was going to become a problem. I actually already tried it beforehand just to see kind of what it was and just to kind of try to figure out what exactly I was going to get myself into. I was not expecting to be able to beat floor 11. I think floor 11 is probably one of the easier ones as it stands right now. This Abyss is pretty much just a whole bunch of slime, a whole bunch of electro. If you have cryo and you have pyro ready, this one is actually relatively easily. The biggest issue that we have right here is that in the last floor, you actually have to fight two hypostasis, the cryo one and the pyro one. The cryo one is not necessarily that bad. There's a lot of phases where you can do a relatively high amount of damage relatively quickly. The pyro one is very, very annoying, and I think this is probably going to be one of the ones that most free-to-play players are going to struggle with. One of the things about the pyro hypostasis in particular is that not only does it have a shield of its own, but its animations are very difficult to keep up with it. It's very, very difficult to hit this thing for starters, take the shield down, and then its vulnerability phases, the point where you can actually hit it, they're incredibly small. So unless you bring a very, very powerful burst DPS, you're not beating this one. Not within the amount of time. Thankfully for me, I was actually using my Geo composition for this one, and that one had Ning Wang. So that's the reason why I'm able to do this. Because I have Ning Wang. And if I don't have a 5-star weapon in my Ning Wang, I don't think I would have been able to do this, because I beat this exactly with 1 second remaining. I wish I had been recording because of how ridiculous this is, but yes, I beat this exactly with 1 second remaining. Had I not had a 5-star weapon, I don't think I would have been able to do so. So I think this is probably one of the worst Abyss floors that we've had so far, just because of how long the animations for the hypostasis are, and by how much damage you actually have in order to be able to do this properly. I think I counted that at most within the 3 minutes, assuming that you manage to do everything perfectly, you get like 6 damage phases at most. This is just insane, and you have to be insanely lucky with the actual animations of the hypostasis. This is a horrendous Abyss. A lot of people are going to find this one relatively easier because of the damage bonuses you get. There is a lot of damage bonuses towards cryo, so people that have Ganyu are going to be really... They're not going to struggle with this one. People who have characters like Ayaka, they're also going to be doing relatively well. Pyro is also getting a pretty significant buff. Due to the enemies, Xiangling does really well in the early stages. On this one, you won't be able to do much because of how low or the duration of the actual damage phase is. You get like 2 seconds at most. That is 2 ticks of Pyronado. You need a different Pyro DPS, otherwise you're not going to be able to take a lot of advantage for this one. And for the Pyro Hypostasis, you're definitely going to need a Hydro DPS. This is not good. I think this is probably one of the worst floors Abyss has ever made. But this is not even the worst one. If I have to say the biggest offender, I think the biggest offender is definitely floor 12. I've actually been attempting it, and I did manage to beat it once. I don't know if I'll be able to beat it within the requirement for 3 stars. I just kind of wanted to see what this Abyss was about, and well, As you can see, we have two of the new enemies right here, the Kaigari Dancing Thunder and the Kaigari Fiery Might, as well as the Nobushi. One of the important things about the Nobushi that a lot of people noticed very early on is that Venti can't actually pull this. That goes for pretty much every Anemo character. I don't think there's a character that can pull either of these, and they are incredibly quick on their feet. They move and dash around constantly. They're very, very difficult to group up. They have a ton of health, and they're just incredibly annoying to deal with, especially in Abyss. In open world, they're already fairly difficult, and more often than not, I personally rely on freeze compositions. That doesn't go here in Abyss. Both the Dancing Thunder and the Fiery Might, they have ways of just immuning pretty much status effects like Frozen. This is probably one of the most frustrating Abyss floors there is out there, and the real reason for it is actually what a lot of people consider a buff, which is a buff for specifically people who have invested very, very heavily into a single character. For anybody else, this energy tide that we have right now is incredibly punishing. Essentially, what we have right now is we have a whole bunch of enemies that have massive health pools. I think I calculated somewhere around 2.7 million for every single enemy here. And we have a ley line disorder that pretty much turns off your energy gathering for 10 seconds. That pretty much means that for the time that you have to beat these guys, you will only have about 1 minute and 30 seconds where you can gather energy. That might not seem that big of a deal to a lot of people, but for individuals who don't have as much damage as pretty much whale level players, this is very, very punishing. This means that you only have a very short window of time in order to gather energy and gather a lot of the bursts, which severely limits the amount of bursts that you can utilize for this particular scenario. It is very, very punishing. It's so much to the point where if you don't have a character that's specifically designed for insane vaporize bursts, I don't think you can beat this with 3 stars. It is incredibly, incredibly punishing. He was showing me to suffer. It's been a while. It's been a while since I saw you, yeah. But don't worry about it. If you're feeling burned out, take a rest. This one in particular is gonna burn me out. This is an insane Abyss. I don't like it. That is for sure. It is not challenging in the ways that I like challenge, mainly because of the timing scenario. A lot of the enemies here have immunity phases. A lot of the enemies here have shields, so you have to be able to counter with specific elements. A lot of the enemies here have mechanics that make it very, very annoying to just fight through all of this. It's ridiculous. You can decide yourself if you have to call me Yuri or still not. I think we'll go with Yuri. A lot of people might get confused otherwise. It's something. It is definitely quite something. I feel like I can beat it, but I don't feel I could beat it if I didn't have exactly the characters that I have to the level that I have invested. As a lot of you remember, during the first child banner, I actually pulled 2 childs, and I've not been able to use child mainly because I've not been able to build him. He is a very, very expensive character in terms of an investment, and it's taking me literally 7 months before I feel like I can properly level him up or I can properly use him. I finally raised a lot of his talents up to a point where they're a reasonable rate, and I finally got artifacts that are at a point where I feel like I can finally use them. And even now, this is what we're going to be running, and I know the crit rate looks ridiculous. That's on purpose. I don't think I can beat this Abyss without crit fishing. That is literally what I'm going to have to do for this one. I am going to have to crit fish with Bennett and this Tartaglia in order to be able to take as much damage as possible. To be able to kill a lot of the enemies as quickly as I can. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm not proud of it, but It's the only way that I've mathed out that I can actually finish this one with within the time limit. The other two characters we're going to be bringing for the first team is actually going to be Bido. It has taken me a very long time, but we got Bido. We're going to be using her now. Let me take a look at the chat really quickly. You're having way too much fun with Ayaka. Ayaka is absolutely amazing. I love her design. I love her character overall. She is incredibly fun to play, and she's also probably going to be the MVP of this particular Abyss run. I'm still working on leveling her up. I managed to get a pretty decent free-to-play setup for my Ayaka. I think she's doing a fairly decent amount of damage. I'm fairly impressed with Ayaka, not gonna lie. I think she is incredibly strong, especially if you're free-to-play. I just think she's a really good character. One of the things that I'm working towards is I'm working towards this. I'm definitely going to be crowning Ayaka as soon as I can. Mora has been incredibly short as of late, but yeah. You're saying for Bulbasaur? Raiden. Raiden is looking interesting. I don't think she's going to be as OP as somebody like Zhongli or somebody like Venti, like a lot of people have been comparing her to. But she is not bad by any means. I think her scaling is deceptively high. Probably not for this one. Definitely not for this one. The main thing about her scaling is it works in a very similar notion to Albedo. This means that if you're expecting long fights, like boss fights, her scaling is actually relatively high. Within a 20-second window, she, as it stands right now, just from like guesses, we'll call them, you can probably expect to see some fairly high numbers. They're not as high as other characters, that is for sure, but the energy recharge as well as the bonuses that she has access to are probably going to be more than enough to make up for that. I don't think she's going to be a bad character per se. I just think she's going to be very, very niche. She's going to be one of those characters that you're going to be able to see in like 1 or 2 compositions where she's going to shine really, really well, and then everywhere else she's going to be kind of just okay to maybe even mediocre. There's some specific pairings that are going to make her very, very strong, but that's kind of it. Your heart star belongs to Hudao. Hudao is incredible. The multipliers that Ball has, at least the ones we have right now, they seem high. Unfortunately, they do get diluted between her lower scaling. That does really affect Ball to quite a heavily degree. That does not mean that she's bad by any means, though. She can get some really high numbers once you add a team around her. Resistance Shred is incredibly powerful to her, and depending on how her Concentration 4 works, she might honestly be one of the characters that can deal some of the highest damage. Of course, that is taking constellations into account, which I don't like to do. But taking a look at her constellations and taking a look at her numbers, actually doing a lot of math, depending on how it works, she's looking kind of scary. She's looking kind of scary. Being able to have that much defense reduction on an attack with a 700% base scaling is really scary. I don't think she's going to be able to hit as high as characters like Hu Tao, who can vaporize, or heck, even characters like Ganyu, who can also melt. But she's getting incredibly close only with the assistance of an emo character. I don't think the best way of putting it is her ceiling is not as high as other characters, but her floor is very high. It's not going to take much in order to get Ball to a point where she's going to be hitting 100k and over. I think that's where she's going to be at her strongest. Her acceleration rate, how quickly she's going to become powerful in comparison to other characters, is going to be really high. Also, with Raiden, do you think her E-coordinate attack once per party will mean that in multiplayer, all 4 eyes of the player will strike at once? That appears to be the case, but not in that particular fashion. I think what it means is that everyone is going to have their specific cooldown. They can probably all stack at once, but more than likely, it's just going to activate the buff to every single player in multiplayer. So, yeah, I guess now that you mention it, in multiplayer, her scaling is ridiculous. Now that you mentioned that. Then again, this is multiplayer, and as of right now, Genshin is very much a single-player experience for a lot of the endgame content. But who knows? If we get if we get content in the future, like a multiplayer Abyss, oh my god, is writing gonna be overpowered in there? Holy. Her scaling is already at around, what was it, like 761 over a 10-second period. If we take that into account as if it was just an elemental skill, that's just a coordinate attack. If we actually take the extra damage from the skill, she's doing like 900 from her elemental skill for casting the elemental skill. That is a very high scaling, incredibly high scaling. It is nothing to ignore. It is very, very high. The main problem that it has is that it doesn't work well with bonuses that we have right now because of the long duration of the damage. That's where Resistance Red comes in. Venereer is pretty much a must-have for Raiden Shogun, which is why I actually expect one of her best compositions to be one of them that I'm working on right now, which is this one. In here, this is probably what I expect to be Raiden's best team as of right now. We still have very early numbers. Things could change. It might be more effective to stack crit damage and just go for the burst support. But as it stands right now, I think her strongest ability is without a doubt the E. And I think this is a team that maximizes that ability to the fullest just because of the consistency that it has. And it also benefits a lot from Beidou. It gets a lot of benefits from Shincho. And being able to have Sucrose as the main DPS will guarantee that you have the maximum output possible from every single one of your abilities by triggering Swirl multiple times. Sara has a lot of potential, yes. Sara looks really, really good. I think one of the things that might hold her back a little bit is the fact that she has to charge attack in order to activate the attack boost. Her first constellation is probably going to get rid of that annoyance, and her burst also activates attack boost, so it's probably not going to be as problematic. Her C6 looks insane. 60% crit damage on all electro characters, that's really, really good. Soul Player, hello, nice to see you here. Every 0.9 seconds per party. It really does look like a coordinated attack. And if we think about it from that perspective, as I mentioned, that is a lot of damage. If you had 4 people with that buff, having that on, that's already, what is it, a 3000% damage swing over 10 seconds? That's an Ayaka burst on an elemental skill. That's pretty powerful. That is really powerful. Then again, we're thinking about multiplayer, and at least for now, that's probably not going to be that helpful. I do expect that we're going to get a co-op of this at some point. Definitely not right now, though. But anyways, I do have to explain a little bit of what we're going to be trying to do for this particular Abyss run. I keep on getting very... Damn it, I clicked that off. I keep on getting very distracted. But essentially, what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to be trying to crit fish, which is kind of unfortunate. I really don't like crit fishing. But it is kind of what I think is going to be our only realistic option. This is going to be the team that we're going to be bringing for the first scenario. Essentially, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using Beidou and Xiangling in order to be able to take care of a lot of the ads. And then once we get into the Kairagi, the big guys, hopefully we're going to be using Bennett and Tartaglia's melee stance E in order to try to do as much damage as possible. Hopefully be able to kill them, if not get a significant burst off, and ideally get as much damage as possible. The second team that we're going to be bringing is also a very, very expensive team that I don't even think is going to be powerful enough to be able to beat this. We're going to be trying to bring the Venti, Mona, Ayaka combo. We're also going to be bringing Diona mainly for healing, as well as triggering the crit passive, and her shield is actually very strong. I have leveled up my Diona. Her shield is incredibly powerful right now, so hopefully that'll be able to save us a little bit. Alright. This is kind of what I'm hoping. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what we get. All right. That's kind of what I'm thinking about this strategy. One of the things that we might actually end up doing is I might bring Ning Wang instead of Diona. Because I feel like we're going to need a lot of burst, so it's going to be kind of difficult to get that without Ningguang. Oh god, what can I even put on my Ningguang? I'm pretty sure that I've already kind of just like grabbed every single one of my good sets and put them on other characters. I think Ningguang is probably going to be more effective than Mona, so we should probably prioritize her instead. This is going to be difficult. Who has my Mona? Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, Mona just has my Ningguang build. Let's, what am I missing? I'm missing the flower. Alright, that looks good enough. So what I think I'm going to do, we're going to be bringing Mona, we're going to be bringing Ayaka, we're going to be bringing Venti, and then we're going to be bringing Ningguang. The name of the game for this abyss is exclusively Burst. That is the entire name of this game. There is... If you don't have the burst, healing is irrelevant. If you don't have the burst, shields are irrelevant. Unfortunately, that's just the way that this abyss is made. Really sad to see if that's the case. But unfortunately, that's what we're going to be rolling with. What can I even give my Mona? I guess let's just give her... Realistically, my Mona is here just to trigger the buff. I don't think there's anything else that she has to do. So I'm just going to give her artifacts just to increase her power. Good enough. I only really care about the energy recharge and as much of the burst as possible. This is good enough. Toomkai and Genshin, that would be pretty good. Yeah, you make a good point. I hope that we are getting a multiplayer upgrade in the future, because right now multiplayer is incredibly limiting. The only thing that we can do in multiplayer is domains, bosses, and I guess explore a little bit, but that gets really awkward really quickly, given all the limitations that you have. Physical damage, Mona, yep. Right now, I'm just looking for the stats, in all honesty. I don't have another set that I can give her. I'm working on trying to get a Emblem of Severed Fates. That it is going to be a very, very long work in progress. Alright, let's just hope that this is going to work. Team number 1, it's going to be comprised of these characters. And team number 2, we're going to be using Ayaka as our main DPS. We're going to be bringing Mona as our attack booster. We're going to be bringing Ningguang as Ningguang. And we're going to be bringing Venti as the character that I despise, yet can admit has a lot of efficiency. A pyrophysical catalyst, that would be pretty interesting. That is true. A lot of the minigames have been incredibly fun. Like the Mechanicus, Theater Mechanicus, I enjoyed that one a lot. The hide and seek event was really, really fun as well. I'm still hoping that we'll be able to do like story quests with our traveling companion. Although I guess lore-wise it makes sense why we can't. Farming artifacts is an absolute nightmare. I'm hoping that they'll fix that at some point. I think what we need is we just need a way to be able to reroll substats. If we farming main stats, that's already a pain. If we have a way to reroll substats, that is what we desperately need. The game is becoming exponentially harder, and because Genshin is an exponential curve, that sort of damage is going to be very, very impactful. And we are missing a quite significant amount of damage just from not having god-rolled artifacts. And if we take a look at the actual math, the percentage that you're going to get one of those ridiculous plus 30 crit damage artifacts is insanely low. It's not easy. It is not easy. You have to be very, very lucky multiple times. You're still yeah, this is the soundtrack from the Ark scenario. There have been a lot of problems with YouTube in particular with regards to music, so I'm not gonna take any chances. I'm I have the music for Genshin muted, which is unfortunate because the music for Genshin is absolutely beautiful and I love it, but I don't want to take chances. It's been about 10 months, still don't got good artifacts. Yep, I'm on the same boat. I'm barely starting to get artifacts that can be considered good, and I've been playing since release. The artifact system is an absolute sham. We have to use what we have, though. It's what it is. Alright. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's try to do this. Let me get into a gaming position, I guess. What we're going to be trying to do is we're going to be starting over here. We're going to be rushing over here. We're going to be dropping the Bennett burst so we can start charging. We're just going to be spamming all of our bursts at the very beginning because we are going to be able to get them from the energy recharge event thing. Hopefully, we'll be able to get them. Alright, let's just see how this goes. This is going to be a weird one. Alright, Elemental High Tide is up. I need, really badly, I need Bido, and I need Shangling. If I have these two, that's enough. Oh, wow, really? That sucks. Alright, so we do this, that... They both blocked it. They both blocked it. You gotta be kidding me. They blocked it. Oh my god, that is... that is ridiculous. All you have is 2Ps combos for everyone. I'm in that same boat. A lot of the, I can get a lot of the bonuses that are really beneficial if I sacrifice a little bit of crit damage, which is not necessarily that bad of a thing. A lot of the bonuses are powerful enough to the point where it is worth sacrificing a little bit, but not so much. Alright, let's try that again. God, that is gonna be a very annoying thing. Yeah, they can cancel damage. That is one of their mechanics. They have a block. That is actually the first time that I've ever had it, so that happens to me. Alright, we're in High Tide, right? I really need to get Shangling at the very least. This is one of the things that makes this particular one very difficult. Oh god, that did very little. I only managed to hit one as well. I didn't do that properly. We're still doing really high damage with our combos, but we're already on the low tide, so it's unlikely we're going to be able to get more. Come on, I need Shangling at the very least. That sucks. This is a part where the High Tide really affects free-to-play in a very annoying manner. As you can see, it is very difficult to get a lot of the things properly. Oh yeah, they also heal. They heal, by the way. That is something they do. I think we managed to clear that with about 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. I don't think that's enough time. I think at a minimum I'm going to need probably like 2 minutes in order to deal with this second part. The second part, essentially what happens is that we have 2 of the Pyro F2P, the assassin guys. They're going to spawn over here. We have to kill them incredibly quickly, because once we kill those that have an insane amount of health, a Electro Sisson Mage is going to spawn here, and the new one, the Crystal Maiden, is going to spawn here. One of the things that I've had happen to me, at least a couple times when I was doing some tests, the lady, the water mirror lady over here just kept on trapping me over and over again, while the electricity mage just kept on spawning flies and I couldn't do anything about them. If we have to fight one of them, I think the more pressing one is probably going to be the F2P. Even though this one over here is very, very annoying, she's also incredibly tanky. And if I don't have... If the Electro Mage starts spawning a lot of the Fireflies, they're going to be taking a lot of the damage that would normally be going towards that one. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be trying to kill the Electro first, and then I'm going to be trying to kill the Mirror Maiden. That's hopefully going to work. We'll just have to see. This is going to take us a long time. I don't think we're going to be able to do this quickly. Oh, I did that properly. I'm very... I'm annoyed. I am very annoyed. I normally have my Mona where I put my Ning Wong. So I thought I went into Mona and instead just bursted with Ning Wong. Oh, that is really unfortunate. Yeah, we're just have to retry that one. Whoops. Alright, we're about to get to high tide. I need at least Shangling. I don't think the, Oh my god. I'm just getting thrown around everywhere. Alright, I think, we're just gonna have to go without the Bennett buff. Oof, that was close. He almost got the heal. That was really close. Alright, let's try to do this one properly this time. So we're gonna go Bennett, Mona, Ayaka, and then Ningguang. Alright, so that worked relatively okay. We're in the elemental high tide. Let's try to get Ayaka. We're just gonna burst instantly. Oh god, you teleported. You are absolutely annoying. We should be relatively close to the high tide. God damn. I hate these maidens. I despise these maidens. Oh, wow, you gotta be kidding me. This is very annoying. Alright, so one thing that I noticed, I think, Ning Wong is probably not gonna be a good pick. She kept on pushing the enemies outside of Ayaka's burst, and I think Ayaka's burst is doing way more damage than Ning Wong at the moment. So what I think I should probably do is maybe either space the bursts out a little bit more or bring somebody else. I called Venti Venet. I would much rather have Venet than Venti right there, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. What else could I potentially bring? I don't think I have anything else that can bring him as much damage.
Yes.
I could bring Xingqiu instead of Ning Wong. The damage incrementation is probably not going to be as much, but I would at least be able to freeze, which might end up being which might end up being better for the Sissin mage, at least. You know, I'm kind of liking that. Well, we'll go with that. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that I stole a lot of your artifacts. Let's just see what I can fit you in that doesn't ruin a lot of my other characters. You know what? We'll just give you Ning Wong's artifacts. It's whatever. I don't have many cryo goblets, do I? Or hydro. Or at least get the noblesse benefit, so it's not that horrible. How are you looking? Okay, that is pretty bad. Not liking it. Not liking it. I'm not gonna lie. I think, trying to one-shot with Child is probably not gonna be the play. I've seen that that is just not gonna work. I'm going to instead go with the other artifacts that I had. Wait. Crit rate. Here it is. We'll just try to do with a bit more sustained damage. A lot of the damage was actually coming from the melee stance, not so much the burst. It wasn't doing as much. The crowds in there are absolutely ridiculous. Stats for Diona. Diona in particular? Yeah, let me just pull up my Diona really quickly. I know that a lot of people are saying that the Tenacity set, I have to agree with that one. Tenacity set is really, really good on Diona. It just gives her a lot of benefits due to her support nature. Even though the buff duration is not that high, one of the things is that you can still snapshot that, so you can get the bonus for at least 1 or 2 characters if you're really quick with it. It ends up giving her a pretty decent bonus as well to her shield. Her shield is actually one of the strongest in the game. It's about as strong as Noelle's shield. She just doesn't have as many multipliers. She can get a decent amount of it in order to increase it even further. It is probably, I want to say, the 3rd best shield in the game, though. And since the difference between those two are not really that high, she's definitely a character that you want to get in the team, especially because of the Cryo Resonance. She's a really good character. Funnily enough, my Diona is surprisingly offensive. Every single one of my stats are centered on HP, yet I have this much crit damage. It pisses me off to no regard that some of my best crit damage rolls are HP artifacts. It is very, very annoying. God damn it. This one is actually really good. This one I might be able to put off as an off-piece something. I just find it absolutely hilarious that one of the most offensive characters in my roster is the support. It's hilarious. I do have her incredibly leveled up just because I ended up getting really lucky during the times Diona was active. So it's not the end of the world. Her ice balls, because of all the constellations, actually do a very decent amount of damage. At this level, what is that scaling? I think it's if you do the hold version, it's like 350% scaling, somewhere around that much. And because of constellations, that actually gets increased by another 50%. And it ends up doing a decent amount of damage in the composition that I run her in because of all the cryo rests. It's surprisingly effective. I don't think this is the way that you're supposed to build Diona. It just happens to be the way that my Diona got built. But yeah, we're gonna be trying HP artifacts with Kristatsys allows to Tao. Good point. Good point. Am I gonna be running a Tenacity of the Millilith Hutao? Honestly, if I get Hutao, I might. That'd be funny. That would be pretty funny. Alright, so we're gonna try that again. We're gonna try a different team this time. We're gonna go with Team 1 was actually doing pretty good. I think Team 2 is where I was having most of my issues. I'm not gonna bring Ning Wong. Or should I? Nah. I'm gonna bring I wanna bring Xingqiu. I am gonna bring Xingqiu. So let me go ahead and build the Xingqiu really quickly. Because I'm pretty sure I forgot to do that. Yeah, actually, it's probably about as good as I can get him. I don't think I can get him any higher. Who has my Bido? Yeah, that's probably as high as I can get Xingqiu. Unfortunately. Alright. I think this particular combo for Team 1 is probably the one that has the highest chance of actually getting me through that stage. The second one, I'm just gonna have to hope and pray that Mona Xingqiu is gonna be enough with Ayaka. I'm pretty much relying entirely on Ayaka for this one. Oh no, she can activate it. She can activate it. It's just, it doesn't last that long. The main thing about having the set on Diona, the 4-piece set, is that it lasts 3 seconds. You're not going to get the benefits from the shield, but you're going to get the benefits from the attack, which is actually a fairly decent bonus. And taking into account the other bonuses that you end up getting, it very often ends up mattering more that you have a consistent attack bonus, that you have something like the full power of the Noblesse set. It's just more damage at a more consistent rate when you have them with Diona. The thing about Diona is that you have a very short window of time to actually be able to trigger that damage bonus. You're not going to be using it with a sustained DPS. You're going to be using it with burst DPSs. So for example, if you have her on a build with someone like Ayaka, one of the things you can do is that you can go into Diona, switch into Venti, activate the Ventiverse, then switch into Ayaka, and as soon as you press the Q for Ayaka, she's going to be getting the 35% extra damage bonus for that short window of time. You just have to be quick with it. It's not a bad bonus, it's just clunky-ish to work with. You get used to it really quickly though. It is probably one of the better bonuses that you can get with Diona in particular, because she's already a cryo character. She can already enable a lot of different bonuses with other cryo characters like Ayaka, like Ganyu, for example. She ends up getting a lot more benefit than you wouldn't originally imagine. You're pretty much wasting the shield strength bonus, but the attack bonus is so high that it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, let's go ahead and let's try this again. I think this team is very well suited to dealing with these guys. I need to... Damn it. That is the one thing that I didn't want to see. Okay, never mind. I just got absolutely destroyed. This is gonna be one of those Abyss, I can already tell. The characters are so insanely tanky and so damaging. They one-shot my Bennett. I need to get these two back up. I didn't manage to kill all of them with that single rotation, so I am gonna lose a lot of damage. Alright, Elemental High Tide has begun. I need to recharge really badly. I don't think I'm going to be able to. This is the thing that makes this incredibly hard. You just don't have the consistent energy regeneration that you normally do. High Tide is helpful, but in a lot of cases you end up getting less energy than you normally would for a majority of the team. So it is very, very annoying. Again, it doesn't matter if you are using a single character that's really, really good and can one-shot a lot of these guys, but when you can't, you're losing so much time. As you can see, I've already lost like a solid 20 seconds. I'm not gonna have enough time. I'm just gonna reset this one. Kokomi, yeah. I don't want to talk about too much about Kokomi just yet, because a lot of the things we're getting are still very early in development. A lot of things are likely going to change drastically. That's also kind of one of the reasons why I don't want to talk about Ball that much. They're characters that are still fairly up in the air. I think Ball, we have more concise data, because, let's be real, she's going to be coming out in a month. We pretty much all know this at this point. She's the worst kept secret that MiHoYo has at the moment. So a lot of her numbers are likely to be more final. I do actually expect her to end up getting slight changes here and there. Probably a little bit more scaling on the E. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Even right now, we still don't have a lot of information to properly go into them and see how well they're going to end up. We have a lot of data, which is more than enough for me to feel comfortable about saying things like they're probably going to end up being good. I think Ball is probably going to end up being niche, mostly because a lot of the roles that she's trying to fill can be filled with other characters, but that does not mean that she's going to end up being bad. I think she's going to be bringing a lot of very unique things, as I mentioned before. In the case of Kokomi, she's also probably going to be one of the weirder characters, because in a lot of ways, her design is very similar to Yanfei. But she also has that thing at the moment that doesn't let her crit, and that's a really, really big killer for DPS characters of that element in particular. I don't think it's enough to the point where she's going to end up being bad, because a lot of the base damage can still be accomplished through Vaporize, but Vaporize is a skill that's going to be really difficult to accommodate properly. She's likely going to need to have Shang Ling as a as a character that can apply Vaporize consistently, and if she has ICD on her charge attacks, internal cooldown basically, she will not be able to Vaporize at a consistent enough rate to make her worth it. It's difficult. It's very difficult. I don't know how Kokomi is going to end up looking. She's looking like a healer DPS hybrid, but she's not... Her scaling is way too over the place. I think what she probably needs is she probably needs a buff like couter, where she can get extra attack instead of extra damage bonuses. But then again, there's still too much to think about. There's a lot of ways that she could end up working as a proper good DPS. As a support, she's probably going to be doing relatively well. Application of the hydro element is also a big factor. There's just too many ifs that we don't know at the moment for me to be able to say where Kokomi is going to end up. Her kit is very well suited for a lot of roles. It's difficult to say which one she's going to land in right now when we don't have all the data. There's a lot of info that we're missing. But as that information comes along, I'll keep an eye on Kokomi. She's probably one of the more interesting characters that we've gotten for a long while, and I'm definitely planning on doing a lot of testing on her once we get more data. Minus 100% crit. The thing about that is, that's actually not a horrible idea, I'm going to say that much. The thing about that is we don't actually know if that's going to end up working, because when they say minus 100% crit, more than likely that just means that they delete crit off the equation. They even have an extra passive for her for specifically that. We just don't know if crit gifted stats are going to matter or not. And not gonna lie, like a freeze composition with Kokomi as the main DPS in that particular scenario, it's probably not enough. Vaporize is just better. It's very difficult to say where Kokomi is gonna lie at the moment. She is, she's meant to be a more offensive Barbara, pretty much. And I already think Barbara is an insane character. The main thing that's driving Barbara down is just she sabotages the team. Cryo exists. And she makes no energy. Those are the two things that are holding Barbara down as a character that can legitimately see meta contention. Look, I hate being the one to say it, but DPS Barbara is not actually that horrible. It's just lacking that little bit of investment, and it's lacking that little bit of an extra oomph, which is what Kokomi looks like she was meant to be. They probably gave her that anti-crit passive because otherwise she might have legitimately been too strong. I don't know. I don't know how she's gonna end up. She's probably gonna be one of those the biggest if character that I've ever seen. But anywho, before I get into too much of a tangent, let's try to finish this, shall we? We're still on the first floor. They grouped up a little bit more efficiently this one, so we're probably going to be getting a pretty decent time. I need really badly to get at least Shangling. Oh god. I lost a lot of damage from that. Ah, this is bad. This is really bad. Alright. We have pretty much all of our bursts. Let's try to gather them together. Oh, come on, really? That's such a killer. It is very annoying because of that one. This Abyss is ridiculous. Imagine a 3-month-old player. That's actually really funny that you mentioned that. One of my friends recently started playing, and with how difficult this abyss is, I think I'm just gonna tell her that abyss doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. It is not fun. That is for sure. I'm gonna be realistic. If it wasn't because abyss is just kind of one of those things that you can just do for relatively entertaining content, I don't think I would bother trying to get max stats on abyss, nor do I think I would recommend it, particularly on this one. This abyss, as I've mentioned already, is very much designed to be free to play negative. Oh, damn it. I didn't get enough. I need to, out of the bare minimum, charge Xiangling. She's like the main damage right now. God, we're doing so bad on the timing. This is the thing that really, really kills me, that I just have like 10 seconds where I can't do anything because of energy. Even now, I don't know if I'm going to be getting Xiangling. Alright, so at least I got Xiangling. That might be enough. Unless I get thrown all the way into oblivion. Oh my god. People who play Genshin on mobile or Legends, absolutely. I have no idea how they do it. I'm playing with a controller because I can't use the keyboard. At least not to the same level. I have no clue how they would do it on mobile. Honestly, if I had to play on mobile, I would just figure out a way to connect a controller. That seems like what I would do. Alright, let's try this again. So we're gonna go Venti, we're gonna go Mona, we're gonna go Ayaka, and I got pushed. Lovely. That's, yeah. So many things can go wrong, it's annoying. Pretty much. I need to get Xiangling back up. If I don't get Xiangling back up, damn it. The tides are just an absolute killer. They just waste so much time. It's insane how... Oh, wow. Meld might be what you need. Have you tried the initial team on the second team? I have, actually. It was not enough. I did not have enough AoE to, I did not have enough AoE to kill the enemies fast enough. We can try again if you wish, if you want to give it a go. I want to give this one a go like probably like 2 or 3 more times just to see. It's just the wrong character. That's fine. I'm just playing really badly now, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna reset this one. Yeah, we ended up getting a lot of Primo Gems from Inazuma. I was actually really happy. I'm currently trying to get enough to save for Guaranteed Pity. I think it's gonna take a very long time. I am at 110 wishes, I want to say. So I need like, I need 50 more, I think. I might be able to get it. I might be able to get it in time. We'll see. There's nothing left in the world. Pretty much. Pretty much. I think what I might end up having to do is, I really skimmed through Leeway. There are a lot of chests in my Leeway that I probably need to get at some point. Alright, I at least got Shangling. Oh, did I kill that one? Oh no. See, this is the thing that really makes this one close to impossible to beat without like perfect execution. He healed up to full, and he is now in an enraged state. He takes like no damage. When it comes to Battle Pass versus Woken, the main driving force around the Battle Pass is the weapons. The weapons are actually incredibly powerful, and a lot of them are really good. Black Sword can be incredibly beneficial for a lot of different builds. Viridescent Hunt can be very powerful for a lot of builds. So can the Claymore, and so can the Solar Pearl. The main driving force behind them is they have a crit rate substat, and pretty much all of them have beneficial effects up to a certain degree. The Viridescent Hunt not only adds scaling damage into the equation, but it also adds a little bit of CC. The Black Sword can give a health as well as the crit rate stat, which ends up being fairly efficient for a lot of characters. Solar Pearl, also just a whole bunch of damage, and same thing with the Claymore, whose name I cannot remember. That's kind of like the big driving force for the Battle Pass, if you want the weapons. Personally, I don't think they're that needed. They are a nice stat stick, but I feel like there's other weapons that you can get not only from a craftable situation, but also from the actual gacha itself that will end up being better in a lot of cases. They're just a very powerful weapon that you can get front out. That's the driving force behind the Battle Pass. Do I recommend it? Probably not. If I'm being honest, I don't actually recommend that you spend money on this game. The sink is way too high, and the return for investment is also way too high. They expect you to pay way too much for what amounts to be to fairly minimal buffs to things that really don't matter. The end-game content of the game, you're looking at it. And the reward for beating this is like 50 Primo Gems. It is not worth it in the slightest. So, if you're spending money in order to try to get power, the reality of the matter is that power won't really matter that much, except for Spiral Abyss in particular, and Spiral Abyss is probably one of the most worthless events we have. So I really wouldn't try to do what I'm trying to do right now. Oh god, my game lagged so much. But we ended up getting so much damage out of that. That was really, really good. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get enough. Oh, just barely. Come on, I need... Okay, there we go. Am I on the elemental side? I don't know. Oh, low tide. God. So annoying. Let's at least try to... I really need to get Xiangling online, and she died. Oh my god. Never mind. I don't think they're worth it, in all honesty. They're really good early on, but they do lose a lot of value later. When it comes to the... Battle Pass weapons. As somebody mentioned, Black Cliff is usually just better in most cases. Give me my energy! Jesus. Alright, so we got Xiangling at the very minimum. Can we also get Baido? Yes, we can. Okay, that's good. That's really good. We're getting a really decent amount of damage here. If we can get Xiangling the energy that she needs, I think just... Never mind. Never mind. I don't think we have enough to kill them. Can we kill him before he... Nope. No, we cannot. Okay, I think this is probably going to be the last try for this team. We're probably going to have to try a different strategy. Man, this is probably one of my strongest team compositions, and it's not doing anything. Oh man, that is such a kill. Yeah, I don't think this one's gonna work. There's too much. Alright. We're gonna change strategies. This is not working. You know, that might actually not be a bad plan. I'm gonna try something very weird, but it might just be strange enough to work. Some business science is just statistic. I can agree with that one. I think, I'm gonna try to switch the teams this time around. We're gonna abandon that one. We're gonna try Ayaka on the first floor. We're gonna do it like this. It's not pretty, and I'm not using Xingqiu for a particular reason, because I'm actually gonna be using Xingqiu on the second floor, alongside this one. This is the electro reduction team that I have been working on for a bit. And I think this might end up being the more efficient way of trying it. Because I feel like if I can get enough damage with Ayaka on the second part, this might be enough to one-shot them. That's what I'm hoping. You know what? We're going all in. We're going all in on the burst. Is this gonna work? Probably not. But we're gonna try it. Before I do this, let's at least try to maximize the damage potential. I'll equip everything on you, and then let's transfer it over. We're going to be using that. We're going to be using that. We're going to be using that. Yep, that looks good. And then for Mona... I don't actually think I have a better set for Mona. I can at least get her noblesse. That's probably the best I could do for Mona at the moment. I unfortunately just don't have that many sets that are ready for use. This is gonna have to do. I need more power. I should probably play through the Devil May Cry series. I actually like the series quite a lot, but I've not been able to play a lot of the games. That could be fun. Power. Alright, let's see. So we're gonna go... just everything. And then we're gonna be using the power of just pure electro on the second one, and that's hopefully gonna be enough. Not entirely sure if this is gonna work. I think the AoE is probably gonna be working for the first two enemies, the pyro guys. I have no idea how we're gonna kill the I have no idea how we're gonna kill the electricist mage. My hope is that we'll be able to stun lock her before she can put up the shield. I know I'm hoping for too much, but we'll just have to see, I guess. I messed that up already. Oh my god. Oh my god, I messed it up so badly. You know what? I'm just gonna reset that. Order should be Bennett, Shangling, Mona, Ayaka. We'll go with that. Let's group them up together. Bennett, Shangling, Mona, Ayaka. Not gonna lie, that was not a lot of damage. We might have to go with permafreeze. They just move too much. They keep on moving outside of the Ayaka burst. Let's see how much damage it does for that at least. They just move too much. I don't think I can get a clean Ayaka burst with without further assistance. Damn it. It certainly does a lot of damage, that's for sure. I think Shangling is probably not the way to go. Might need more freeze. Alright, let's try something different then. I could bring Venti, but that just feels bad. I just think Venti's too useless. Let me... characters. Let's see. Ayaka was doing about 17k. That's a combination of Bennett and... Ayaka was doing about 17k per tick with a combination of Bennett and Mona. The thing is, I was losing a lot of that damage to the enemies just moving around, and that's what I'm losing a lot of damage to. I can't stick to the enemies for me to melt Shangling efficiently. Their dodging mechanic is just making it too difficult for me to get the melt hits. So Shangling all around is not adding as much damage as I want her to be. I just don't have enough time to properly account for damage. A lot of it is being lost just to the enemies dodging around. So I think we're probably gonna have to go with a freeze composition if we want to do... And we're just gonna have to focus entirely on Ayaka, which I don't particularly like, but it might be the best way to go about it. I think I'm probably going to replace Shangling with Diona, just to get that little extra bit of power. Let's go ahead and do that. Good enough. This is as much as I can buff my Ayaka. I cannot buff her any further. I actually like having my Diona there. There we go. I still don't even know if this is going to be enough. I think relying on Ayaka is going to be a bit... Relying only on Ayaka is going to be very difficult. But I feel like it's probably going to be the better option because I can only really charge 2 of the bursts at once. I'd much rather have, like, Mona... I need to get all these together. Let's do this. Drop Mona. The elemental tides are what's really killing me, in all honesty. They're just too annoying. God, it's just not enough. I don't think this is gonna work. Ah! If I play that differently, what can I accomplish? Xingqiu instead of Mona, that's the national team and it's still not enough damage. Xingqiu instead of Diona, maybe? The samurais are weak to physical damage. Interesting. Interesting. You know, let's give that a try. I do have a physical Shangling that I can probably abuse. What else can I potentially bring? I mean, this is a physical build, so I need that looks pretty good. I think this might be what we're gonna be trying it with. All right, so it's gonna be team 1. What can I do for team 2? What do I have access to official? I'm not sure if I like this. We'll try the physical one anyways. At this point, I'm up to trying anything. I'm running out of ideas really, really quickly. You know what? We'll just we'll just do this for second team. See if that's enough. Probably isn't. Might actually go with Venti, actually. Yeah, we'll try with Venti. I really need to start getting that second set for Venti so I don't have to change all of my sets over and over again. I'm still not happy with my Anemo set, if I'm being honest. I'm happy with this one, but I still need to be able to proc Venereer, so I'm forced to use this one. Yeah, liking the music. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. A friend managed to talk to the guy that makes this, and he actually got me permission to use it, which is really nice. DJ Cutman. I've heard a couple things from him before, and he just makes really relaxing music. So we're gonna go with Shangling, Mona, Diona, and our good old pal Fischl. Then on the second team, we're going to be trying to go with good old Ayayaka, Bennett, Shingcho, and Venti. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I actually have fairly high single target damage. Like, the single target damage of this Shangling is incredibly high. I just don't think it's gonna be enough. Oh god, they just dash too much. I can't keep up with them. They just move around too much. I don't think it's gonna be enough. If it was a single one, this would probably be the way to go, but not enough AoE. Not enough AoE.
断罪の名にふっやっかけふったはっそれやっ師匠の技を食らいなさい黒き翼よねえやだ助けてショップやっ運命には逆らえません
Yeah, it's just not enough. Just not enough. Oh, I don't plan on using Bennett for the damage. I plan on using him for the buff only. He's gonna be the first one to lead. He's not actually gonna be hitting the enemies. Mainly, it's just gonna be to snapshot the Ayaka burst once they're caught on Venti. The idea is we're gonna Bennett just flat on the ground, switch into Venti, activate Venti, go into Ayaka. That's kind of the idea. Just try National League. Nah, might as well. Honestly, it doesn't seem like much that I'm trying is working anyways. Could be worse. Wait, I brought the physical Shangling, didn't I? Oh my god, I forgot to switch. Yeah, I just realized that. Whoops. Let me go ahead and switch the Shangling really quickly. This Shangling plus Chongyun, new meta. Alright, let's try this again. It's probably like the most meta compositions that I can possibly get, and I don't think we're gonna be able to, I don't think they're gonna be strong enough to beat this. Maybe if I had Chongyeon leveled up. Maybe if I actually bother with a guy.
師匠の技を食らいなさい。はっ。
牽引全票。
はっ。やっ。はっ。はっ。
雨だ。股間奥義。みんながそばにいてくれるわ。救急如律流。
やっ。それでどうだ。それ。はっ。やっ。はっ。熱々でしょ。はっ。やっ。それ。はっ。やはりダメだ。
We're in low tide, aren't we? That sucks.
この件はわかるかい？動くべき。
話が通じない。
Ooh, wrong character. Oh no.
みんなは俺が歌よ錦となれ。牽引全票。
やっ。やっ。ふっ。それ。はっ。たっ。ふっ。はっ。はっ。
おとなしく捕まれ。我が命を聞きた。燃えろ。
Yeah. Not a fan of this one. The tides just destroy the energy economy too much.
股間奥義。救急如律流。
I can't match my cooldowns at all. That's also just me being bad.
かけ。はっ。ふっ。たっ。やっ。
Oh, they're too tanky. They're way too tanky. Okay, I'm gonna try. This is probably like plan. I don't know, what plan are we at right now? We're well past G, I know that. Who is using nobody? Okay, let's put that on. Nah, it's probably not worth it. Good enough. Okay, so this is gonna be the new plan. We're just gonna try... Eula's pretty good for this one. This is definitely one of the ones where Eula's gonna shine a lot. I imagined. I think Eula's biggest moment to shine is when there are enemies that have a high amount of health that are priority kills. which is this one. It also just so happens that they're weak to physical. So that's an even bigger plus for Eula. We're still on the first floor, by the way. Oh god, we're not regressing at all. Okay, so we're going to be bringing Xingqiu, we're going to be bringing Baido, we're going to be bringing Fischl. What weapon is Fischl using? Stringless, that works. And we're going to be bringing Sucrose. Alright, on the second team, we're going to be bringing my Mona. We're going to be bringing Ayayaka. We're going to be bringing Diona, and we're going to be bringing Venti, and Venti's entire purpose is literally just going to be to burst. That is your purpose. Alright. We're going to try this again. I don't know how this is going to work out. At a bare minimum, it should at the bare minimum give me consistency. Because that's the thing about this team. This team is very consistent since a lot of the damage is very much centered on normal attacks with Fischl. With the C6 Fischl. That's where that has a heavy amount of damage. I don't really need too much energy. So the high and low tide are not really going to matter too much. At least that's the hope. We got 3 stars, let's go. Oh my god, this is just so difficult. As soon as Elemental High Tide begins, there we go. We need Xingqiu, we need Baido. Are we in low tide? We're in low tide, aren't we? Yeah, there we go. So now we're in high. Ah, I can't see anything. Oh, come on, really? Ah, that sucked. Well, all around, I'm actually more confident in this team than I have been with any of the others. It is a lot more consistent, even through all of the bullshit. High tide, so we need to charge up Baido, charge up you. There we go. Wait for him to dash. There we go. Oh, come on. Can you stop dodging? We got high tide. I need to get Baido, and I need to get Xingqiu. There we go.
左右炭になるがいい。
影の辛さ超拡散形態
God, I hate the AI of these ones. They just keep on dodging away. It's so annoying.
この件はわかるかい？
まだ調整する必
I need to figure out a way to keep them together so that I can get the full benefit of Baido Burst.
これが海賊。股間奥義。
お嬢様の仰せの
6308式ユニット理想の風シミュレート安全距離確認
やっ。雨描きがたし。はっ。
姿を見せよ
左右よく見ておけ。行くぞ。
夜の剣
Elemental High Tide should begin pretty soon. Let's go ahead and charge up Baido. Let's go ahead and charge up Xingqiu. I need a little bit more. Come on. Really? That sucks.
断罪の名に6308式ユニット7号式モジュール
やっ。炭になるがいい。歌よ錦と。
影のカラス吸引テスト開始6308式ユニット
I'm basically just tanking every single one of their hits in an attempt to keep them close together. High Tide. I need to charge up Baido. And I need to charge up Xingqiu. Come on. Alright, there we go.
よく見ておけ。やっ。
無双の風夜の権限
またか
答えなさい
Oh, wait, my Sucra's died. I didn't see that. Oh, really? Come on. Damn it. I was really close. I am missing a lot of, I have really good artifacts. They're not insane, though. I think this is one of those, this is just one of those Abyss where I'm probably not going to be able to do it.
これがか。
超拡散形態安全距離確認夜の権限
Which tide do we have? High tide, perfect.
答えなさい
これでどうだ
はっや6308式ユニット
歌よ錦と。炭になるが。
影のカラス吸引テスト開始
やはりダメだ
行くぞ。
無双の風シミュレートあ姿を
よく見ておけ。やっ。やっ。左右ルコ。
夜の源源
ひゃひゃちょっと予想を超えてるかも
Oh, that's just unfortunate. I didn't hit that in time. So we lost Sucrose, but that's not the end of the world.
夜の権限
行くぞ。形は精神と共にあれ。
Alright. I don't think we have enough time.
思わないでよねこれが運命です
Yeah, that's an instant killer. I can't do anything here.
運命よここにいでよ逃げようなんて思わないでよね桜吹雪
Man, that just sucks. I don't think I can do this one. They just teleport too much.
ここだよ運命の巨栄捕まえたにゃ私は甘く見ないで飲みすぎでよ
Well,
運命には逆らえません
I could try the overload stun, yeah, maybe.
一緒に遊ぼうよ
Switch out Sucrose for, I guess, Shangling? That'd probably be the best one.
風だ私は甘く見ないで
I hate this so much.
ここにいでよ神里流消滅水中弦が
Stop teleporting! This is just frustrating. Yeah, the samurais will not heal themselves unless one of them dies. So you have to be really careful because as soon as you kill one, the other one is gonna try to insta-kill. They also have to go through all of their animations first, so if they're already dashing, or if they're doing like that one big combo attack where they attack multiple times and then jump, they will not be able to heal until that animation is finished. So that is something to take a note. Maybe stun the samurai, will overload it. I don't even know if that's gonna be enough. Might as well try it. Okay, so we're gonna... We're gonna try the same team that we had, but instead of Sucrose, we're gonna use Shangling. That's gonna decrease the damage a little bit, but it might give us... It'll probably give us Overloaded, which is likely gonna be helpful. So let's try this one. Then... I don't even know how I'm gonna do the second one, if I'm being honest. I just don't have enough. Best of lucks. Nice to do what you have to come. I think this one's definitely one of the more frustrating ones that I've had. We're still in floor 1. If I want to kill both of those, that's going to be really annoying. I think the Mirror Maiden is actually causing me more problems this season mage, if I'm being honest. I'm going to try to kill the Mirror Maiden first. She just keeps on putting me on the prison and it's reducing my damage so much.
断罪の名にそれはっやそれはっやかけっこしましょうや熱々でしょはっ影のカラスが言うや
行くぞこれが怪股間奥義
やはりダメなかなかここまで
それ
雨描きがたし歌よ錦とな
夜の剣
Overload, it's looking like it's doing pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's actually looking pretty strong.
や料理の時間だよはっふっはっそれはっねえ影のカラスが
We're in low tide, aren't we? Yeah.
これが海山を
それ の食材は凶悪ね。
I did pretty good. Alright, that worked pretty good. That worked out pretty good.
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。私はまた
I still don't think we're gonna have enough.
踊りなさい。運命。やっはっやっ雪を前。それ捕まえたにゃ。リオナのと。やっこれが運命です。
Where'd the other one go?
踊りなさい。風だ。高所決起。運命よ、ここにいでよ。神里流消滅。失礼。
Wow, she got sent flying away because it triggered a superconduct. That is so frustrating. That is so frustrating. I think we managed to figure out a good composition for the first floor. I'm still just worried about the second one. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do that one.
影のカラスが話が通じないなら叩くまででしょう。料理の時間だよ。はあ、それ。
この剣はわかるかい？股間奥義炭になる。
やっふっやっはあ、熱々でしょ。やっねえはあはあふっは
夜の源源
それかけあちゃタタタタ急に
Damn.
喉が
That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Ayaka Freeze is very, very strong, but there is just so many things that can go wrong with it. I've not been able to get a good Ayaka Freeze burst as of yet.
料理の時間だよ。
これが海山。左右。
話が通じないなら叩くまででしょう。ふっやっふっややったそれふっやはあ熱々でしょ。
歌よ西となれ。
は
炭になる。
影のカラスが師匠の技を食らいなさい。はあふっそれやや夜の源源
これが海山股間奥義。
話が通じないなら
Alright, we're doing pretty good time.
でしょう。はあふっや私ってとんでもないやつを怒らせちゃった。
Oh, come on, really? That sucks. That really sucks. I think the problem with this one is that I'm I'm trying to shift between the two, but more often than not, the auto-targeting just keeps on choosing the same one.
よく見ておけ。
黒き翼よやっかけっこしまふっそれふっはっやっはっふっ
股間奥義。やっ。これがカイザ。
それやっ
やはりダメだった。
はっゴバ火を吹け
ここまで。
はっ
やはりダメだった。大勢で片付け
サイウルコ。よく見ておけ。やっ。
話が通じないなら叩くまで
お嬢様の王
ふっやっそれはっはっ
I'm trying really hard to just get survive for once and try to get as much damage as possible.
ゴバ火を吹けやっ
Low tide. Ah, that sucks. Let's try to get them together at the very minimum.
雨描きがたし。へい。炭になるが股間奥義。やっ。
ふっ熱々でしょ師匠の技を食らいなさい黒き翼よそれはっふっやっはっかけふっはっそれ今日の食材は凶悪ね
Alright, there we go. Man, this is so difficult.
逃げようなんて思わないでよ私は甘くこれが運命です運命の取った雪を前
I think that's just kind of the problem. My Ayaka's not strong enough to
踊りなさい
kill these guys within a single burst.
失礼風だ公主権利運命よここにいでよ神里流雪を前一緒に遊ぼうよリオなら特製の
That was pretty much the full brunt of my Ayaka, and it only did like 20% to it.
私は甘く見ないで水中言語失礼一緒に遊ぼうよ逃げようなんて思わないでよね
I don't think I can 9-star this one. This is just too heavy of a DPS check.
運命よ水踊りなさい桜吹雪
I think oh my god, I got one shot.
これが運命です
I think if I'm being honest, I'm gonna shift strategies. I'm no longer gonna try to get 9 stars. I'm just gonna try to get 6 stars. That's probably what I'm gonna be doing. So instead of the teams that we've been using, let's go ahead and let's concentrate towards the other floors. Because we already got 2 stars on this one. So I'm not super worried about it anymore. We can bring whatever team. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we have on the other ones, and we'll start focusing on that instead. So for the second floor, we have to worry about Hydra Abyss Mages and the Thunderhelm Lawa Churl. Also the Magukenki. Magukenki is going to be annoying. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to be using the Sucrose team to deal with the Magukenki. I think that's probably going to be the one that's going to have the most consistent damage without me having to worry about the Magokenki's melee attacks, because they can just stay at a distance. That's probably what I'm going to do to fight the Magokenki. For the other two, that's probably going to be all Ayaka. And the Ruin Guards, I don't think that's going to matter too much between each of them. Tons of HP. Yeah, seems like probably the best plan in that case. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to be using Reverse Melt Ayaka more than likely. Xiangling as our secondary. We're going to be bringing Diona as our healer and Crit Enabler. And we're going to be bringing Mona, I guess? Yeah. Good enough. Then for the second team, we're going to be bringing Sucrose, you, and you, and you. That seems good enough. Let me make sure that Sucrose has artifacts. She does. You also have artifacts, you also have artifacts. You also have artifacts. Ayaka, you're doing good. Yes. Good old Ayaka. And Xiangling. I need to get that that new weapon that we're going to be getting for Xiangling is going to be really helpful for me. I don't have many weapons to give crit, and a lot of my substats have gone into crit damage. I don't really have that many crit rate artifacts either. I'm struggling really badly with crit rate, so that one's going to be really helpful. Honestly, this is probably for the best. I don't think I can... I've pretty much exhausted every single one of my resources to the maximum capacity that I have at the moment. I just can't do it. Too heavy of a DPS check. I would probably need to get better artifacts on my Ayaka so that I can one-shot the Pyro F2P mages in a single burst. That's probably what I have to do, and I just don't have the resources for that at the moment. I don't think I have any other way that I could clear this DPS check. So we're just not gonna try it. We're gonna be moving over into the new chambers. I feel like this, now that we don't have to worry about time, I can just take my time, so I'm not gonna be stressed out. I do want to try to get Ayaka's burst, but if it doesn't happen, that's fine. Not super worried about it anymore. Alright, we got High Tide. We're about to get all of the bursts. This is nice. Oh my god. That is very unfortunate timing. We do need our Mona, so I should probably go into Diona first, so I could get the maximum bonus. God, that's annoying. This is low tide, yes, yes. Just gonna go for freeze.
しなければ。桜吹雪。踊りなさい。
Oh wow, you really jumped out of that one? That sucks.
運命の巨栄。運命よ、ここにいる。
I need to heal Ayaka.
運命よ。雪を前へ。これが運命です。運命の踊りなさい。取った。熱々でしょ。運命よ。
Oh no, my controller disconnected! Shit! That's unfortunate. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. There we go. It's whatever.
今日の食材は凶悪ね。運命よ、ここにいでよ。失礼。
Oh, this is really annoying. He's immune to freeze now. He is gonna take a very, very long time to kill.
水中現場。桜吹雪。踊りなさい。運命には逆らえません。まさか。
He's doing his best Shao impression.
雪を前へ。やっちゃっ
Jesus Christ.
まだやり残して。
My controller disconnected again. One sec. Let's get this thing back on. Can you... Are you just not gonna work? Oh no. There we go. Second floor of chamber 1 is actually quite easy. That's good to hear. Because I'm really getting annoyed with chamber 1. I just want to finish it. I'm not super worried about the other two chambers. I think the teams are more than strong enough. I just think those two are incredibly annoying. They're already difficult enough to fight in the actual overworld.
料理の時間だよ。師匠のこれが運命です。運命の巨栄。失礼。神里流。消滅。リオナの特製と踊りなさい。運命の巨栄。
I am not a big fan of the high tide system. If I have to be honest, I hope that they don't bring it back ever again. I think it's just way too punishing. It's punishing in the wrong way. It's punishing for not being able to one-shot enemies.
雪を前へ。取った。
And I don't think that's how it should be, in all honesty.
離れてください。公主決定。飲みすぎだよ。運命よ、ここにいでよ。すぐ行く。失礼。神里流。消滅。
Oh, come on. Really?
このっていきます。
Oh my god, that is so frustrating. He just killed my Mona in the last second. We were actually doing really good timing on that one because we managed to get the Ayaka burst to hit both of them, which is something that I've been struggling to do. It's just very difficult to keep these guys in a single place because of how much they just move around like that, yeah.
運命の境地
Mona's good at keeping them at one spot, but
イオナの特性の
she can't do it as permanently as Xingqiu can. That's the only part where Mona struggles.
水中で
Elemental High Tide. Let's try to get a good freeze here.
ここにいるよ失礼桜吹雪ターゲットロックアップ運命よスイム反省しなさいよバラさんこれが運命です話が通じないなら叩くま雪を前取った
God, so annoying.
踊りなさい
I'm just gonna fight him.
水中でヘイ高速失礼5番ヒオナの特製ドリンクじゃ
Is this what enemies feel when they're fighting Xiao?
雪を前
I can see why he's feared.
桜吹雪踊りなさい
Alright, there we go. Higanji's getting one shot at M4 too. You can't get rid of Zhongli. Yeah, I imagine as much. We don't really have that many good options when it comes to shielders. I think Zhongli is the obvious choice because he has resistance shred. Diona is the second best choice because she can enable crit rate scenarios with the cryo resonance as well as getting a little bit of a bonus with either the Millilith set or the other one, the what's it called, Novelist Oblige. Zhongli is slightly bit better. He can also trigger Millilith, but more importantly, he can trigger Archaic Petra, which is actually a pretty big bonus. A lot of people don't do it because lazy, which, I mean, it's understandable. All right. Add a little bit of water. Let's go ahead and let's try this one. I'm a lot less worried, if I'm being honest. I don't think the likelihood that I'm gonna die is high because I can just.
超拡散形態
I can just abuse the hell out of
吸引テスト開始
mitigations. Mitigations are incredibly powerful.
よく見てお股間奥義この件はわか
安全距離確認影の辛さ
The problem here is this Mirror Maiden. She is way too tanky. I can't deal with her.
これが怪歌よ日となれ雨描きがたし
7号式モジュール
お嬢様の
安全距離確認
炭になるがいい股間奥義
そりゃ吸引テスト開始
夜の源源
痛くない痛くない
Oh my god, what killed me?
またか
Ah, this is so frustrating.
お嬢様
Xinyan, I wouldn't consider her a shield user. Her shields is just way too weak. Noelle is incredibly strong, but You need to be able to build for her.
熱々でしょ。話が通じないなら運命に逆らいません。運命が水面に映るのです。雪を前へ。高速決定。飲みすぎだよ。運命の虚栄、これが運命です。
That was a pretty good Ayaka burst.
踊りなさい。水中弦がリオナの特師匠の技を食らいなさい。運命よ、ここにいでよ。失礼。桜吹雪。
Let's see if I can get this in time.
水面に映るのです。
Alright, so at least I got one.
料理の時間だよ。踊りなさい。
I'm getting a little bit better with
運命には逆らいません。
Mona,
うわ甘く。
Ayaka.
雪を
I'm still not particularly used to using Mona as the freeze enabler,
飲みすぎだよ。
but it's pretty effective.
運命よ、ここにいでよ。取った。失礼。
Alright, that went relatively well, all things considered.
よく見ておくさい。歌よに
黒き翼よ。安全距離確認。キュー。吸引テスト開始。無双の風。シミュレーター。へい。ひゃ。姿を見せよ、オーズ。
股間奥義。これが海山を滅ぶ。
6308式ユニット。
無礼者は
影の殻。安全距離確認。超拡散形態。
よく見ておく。雨描きがたし左右る。
夜の権限。吸引テスト開始。へい。
Mirror Maiden is the one that has to die. If I can kill the Mirror Maiden, that's all I care. That's all I care about.
断罪のな。
炭になるが。この件はわかるかい。
無双の風。
お嬢様の仰せのままに。
Oh, Jesus.
股間奥義。これが海山を。
That moment when you have to use the Bido counter as an actual shield.
影のカラスが。安全距離確認。7号式モジュール。
I knew this was going to be difficult when I put the Electro team here. There we go. God, that was way too difficult. Turns out the big killers are highly resistant to Eula. Yeah, I imagine they do have that extra bonus. You also have to deal with the. You also have to deal with the robots. It might be a bit too difficult for Eula to deal with that. Best of luck, though. I think you can do it. I would probably switch to something else, though.
ここまでとは計算外です。運命には料理の時間。踊りなさい。反省しなさい、酔っ払いさん。
When I get the chance, I need to heal up Mona. So I'm probably gonna do that right now.
運命よ、ここにいでよ。師匠の技を食らいなさい。
The good thing is, now that I've given up on the 9 stars, I don't have to worry about time too much.
雪を前へ。これが運命です。
Oh god. I didn't think that would hit me.
5番踊りなさい。取った。運命には逆らえません。
Alright. Let's take this time to just heal up. We're gonna heal up Diona. Man, this is a lot less stressful when you have an extra minute. It's almost like the entire difficulty of this challenge is centered on the artificial time limit. Huh. So weird, right? Oh well. Oh well. This is unfortunately how this is. Defeat one opponent, Magu Kenki. Let's get this up. Alright. Let's start putting the combos.
炭になる左右ルコ
超拡散形態。
お嬢様の王
答えな。
Are we in low tide or we're in high tide? I didn't see.
行くぞ
Oh no.
よく見て
Ooh, that was way too close. That probably would have killed me.
夜の源源
痛くない痛くない全然痛くない6308式ユニット。
I took a lot of damage. I have to make sure that I can heal.
その風し断罪の名に。
炭になるがいい
安全距離確認。影のカラス。
行くぞ
Low tide, and I did not get my buffs.
わかるかい
That is not the end of the world, but it is pretty annoying.
よく見てお左右ルコ
姿を見せよオズ黒木。超拡散形態。6308式ユニット。安全距離確認。
Should be about to get the heal. There we go. Oh god, that still hit me? Really? Didn't kill, thankfully. Alright, we got the Mogan down. That wasn't horrible. I think the last floor is going to be very difficult because we lost a lot of health on Sucrose. We're gonna have to play it really carefully. We're gonna have to play it really, really carefully. Oh, really? My control disconnected again. I really need to get a better controller. It's been glitching out way too much. Alright, so we have one of these. That is actually not that scary.
これが運命です。踊りなさい。話が通じないなら叩くもリオナの特製ドリンクじゃ。水中。よいしょ。それ。やあ。運命には逆らえません。失礼。運命の 運命です。
Wait, didn't I just have my Ayaka burst? What happened to the Ayaka burst? Did I... Did I just imagine I had Ayaka burst? Yeah, I really... Now that I look at the other floors, I 100% can't do this 9 stars. This is... these things are way, way too tanky. Hey, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do this with 6 stars. Should be getting the heal really soon. After that, I'm gonna switch back into Bido. Oh wow, really? That sucks. Alright, let's choose one of these guys. We might barely get Yeah, low tide is so frustrating. I do not like it. But I think this is where we're gonna end it. Or on the Abyss. I don't think I can go any further than this. This is just way too much of a DPS check. I don't have the I don't have mountains of artifacts or mountains of 5-star weapons in order to enable the amount of DPS that I need. Even my strongest unit with the strongest amount of DPS that I have ever had, which in this case is my Ayaka, she's definitely the strongest one that I've been able to get. It doesn't do much. It doesn't do enough. And I don't even know if I would be able to increase her damage that much apart from literally getting the Mist Splitter. it's fairly difficult. Even with Mona, I'm not doing enough. I'm just not doing enough. Frankly, I think at this point it's safer to just say that this one is not doable for me, and just let it be. Let it not bother me. It's too much of a DPS check. Way too much of a DPS check. I got I got to 33. I got to 33 stars pretty much. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. I don't think I can do this one. It is just too much HP on every single one of the characters. I don't have neither the burst nor the power to be able to do this with a single burst on my strongest unit buffed by 3 other units. Unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I think this floor is 100% designed entirely for whales. I'm just gonna let that be and be happy that I was able to snag at least 6 stars on this one. This is way too difficult. As I mentioned, this is probably the absolutely worst floor that we have ever had for free-to-play. These enemies just have way too much HP for anyone to realistically be able to do this without massive amounts of investment. My account by no means is weak. Like, I have very, very strong units. I managed to get Ayaka, I managed to get a very decent amount of power on them. My Baido's at C2, my Xingqiu's at C4. Bennett is incredibly invested. I have a Mona that's... my Mona has a very high level of Stellaris Phantasm. There is very little that I can do in order to increase the power of this particular account, other than legitimately just getting 5-star weapons. And I am struggling very, very hard. Even on the crit rate department, the most that I could get it would probably realistically be an additional 30% crit rate, which after factoring in all the mathematics, that's only really going to increase my damage by like 7%. And 7% damage is not going to be enough to do this either. I think this is probably the first Abyss ever that I feel that I'm limited not by my characters, not by my artifacts, not by anything else other than the health of the enemy. And the only way that I can increase the damage to the point where I can do that would be by having rank 5 weapons, which I think is definitely not the way to go for Abyss. I think this Abyss is going to be very frustrating for a lot of people, and it's probably going to lose them a lot of players. Just because of how frustrating it is. I'm hopeful that they learn from this one and that they don't do this much, but if the current Abyss we have right now is that the way they're learning is that they're just learning how to make it more and more difficult for free-to-play players. I don't think my account can be considered weak by any means, and I just don't see a way of doing this without literal rank 5 weaponry. Without 5-star weaponry. I'm just running through all the math in my head and God, it does not look good. But anywho, without depressing note aside, I do think that's probably going to be the end of this particular stream. One of the things you should probably be expecting to see soon is going to be the Damage Explained video that I've been working on for a very, very, very long time, and I'm now finally at the point where I can say that the script is done, or the script is where I'd like it to be. I'm probably going to be editing that for a bit, and we're going to be taking a look at Yoimiya, what to expect for Yoimiya, hopefully this Friday. Hopefully. We'll see, we'll see. Just as a TLDR, I don't think Yoimiya is going to be that strong. I think she is going to be decent. You can definitely use her in a lot of different positions. So if you want to play with Yoimiya, that is a good thing. There are builds that you can do that will work efficiently. I think right now her burst artifact set is her best team, and best artifact set are looking to be, weirdly enough, the Thundering Fury set with a double electro composition. The main reason for this is because the cooldown for Yoimiya's E is very, very long. However, it does go off instantly as soon as you cast it, which means that in theory, if you give her the Thundering Fury set, she should be able to recharge a lot of her elemental cooldown with that set, and the bonuses that you end up getting from that elemental skill are very front-loaded, which means that by itself is probably worth it, since a majority of the damage is coming from the basic attacks. The extra 15 to 20 something percent that you're going to be getting pyro damage from something like Crimson Witch of Flames is not going to be that helpful. It is going to be very heavily diluted just because of how much damage she's getting from the elemental skill. When you put it into an actual mathematical table, you'll see that something like Witch's Set is so little in terms of extra damage that that oftentimes being able to cast the elemental skill 1 second earlier is already out DPSing the damage that you're getting through the entire duration of the Witch's Set with pretty much a single basic. That is just how diluted that is because of how much bonus she gets from her E. That is not to say that the bonus is bad, it's just that in comparison, you're gonna make that bonus back from having the E faster. That's just how that ended up working. If that's not the case for every single scenario, there are some scenarios where if you have very specific 5-star weapons, the damage from Witch's Set, it might actually be enough to the point where that's worth it, but that is just very, very specific, assuming that you can kill the characters, assuming that you can kill all of the enemies within a single casting of the E. Too convoluted, too complex. I would recommend Thundering Fury with something like a Bido or the Electro Traveler. That's for Yoimiya. You got 3-star on on the floor. Congratulations. It's really, really hard. It is really, really hard. I'm hoping you'll be able to get the 3-star on the one that I couldn't. I'm not gonna attempt it. I just don't have enough. Yeah, Thundering Fury. Thundering Fury. It's not something that a lot of people are talking about because the way that they see it, they're losing out on the damage bonuses that you can get from other sets. But when you actually put it into a DPS table, assuming just very general stats, not specifically god roll or anything of that sort, the extra couple seconds that you get from the elemental skill being active will out DPS very heavily any other option. Even Shimenawa's. The bonuses do get very heavily diluted just because of the way the math works. I'll try to explain that in once we actually get into the damage explained. But essentially, once you get past a certain point, there are diminishing returns. And when you cast Yoimiya's E, she gives you so much elemental bonus, or so much bonus damage, basically, since all of those are pretty much counted into the same formula. Elemental damage, normal attack, all of that is part of the same bonus. She gives you so much of that you're instantly getting to the diminishing returns portion. So if you have like a Pyro Goblet and then you activate Yoimiya's E, you're already at diminishing returns. The extra 15% that you're going to be getting from something like Crimson Witch of Flames is just not worth it. Just plain and simple. You have Hu Tao with Homa and Xingqiu and Zhongli support and you're struggling? Jesus Christ. Yeah, there was no way I was getting this finished. They don't seem to be rolling back at all now. They just keep on making it more and more frustrating. I think right now, I feel like I'm at the strongest that I have ever been. This is probably the closest that I have ever been to like a whale level power level. And I'm getting obliterated. I legitimately don't think I can do anything. Even with crit vision, even with doing very specific vaporized combinations with the highest amount of crit that I can possibly enable, I just don't think I can do it. I am flat out missing rank 5 weaponry, or 5-star weaponry, which seems to be required at this point in order to do the amount of damage that those things have within the specified amount of time. Frankly, I don't think the problem's in the challenge, I think the problem's in the time. The 3-minute time is way too ridiculous. As I mentioned at some point, now that when I stopped caring about the 3-star, it felt a lot less stressful. It felt a lot more entertaining. It actually felt fun, doable, like something that should be at that point. Frankly, 3-star, 3 minutes, that's just not doable unless you have heavily god-rolled artifacts, heavily invested rank 5 weapons, incredibly powerful characters like Ganyu, Hu Tao, Zhongli, in very specific combinations. You basically need like the top tier of top tier if you want to get 3 stars at this point. It's just way too ridiculous. Can you show it? Yeah, I can show my Yaka. She's not as strong as others. I can definitely put a lot of improvements. I ended up getting a lot of rolls into Elemental Mastery, but this is kind of what I ended up getting from my Ayaka. She has 30% crit rate. I'm pretty much just using her in freeze composition, so that doesn't really matter too much, since I did manage to get the full set for that certain percentage. I ended up getting up to 270% crit damage because of the Black Cliff Sword. So, frankly, she's already at the point of diminishing returns when it comes to crit. More crit wouldn't do anything. At this point, the thing that would actually help me would be more attack. That would probably be the only thing that would make her stronger. And even at that point, I'm fairly close to the point of diminishing returns as well. Realistically, the only thing that would boost my Ayaka by any meaningful amount would be damage bonuses, which you can only get through changing the Black Cliff to something like a Mist Splitter. That is realistically the only meaningful thing that I can do to increase the power of Ayaka. I can change some of my substats. If I take a look at my artifacts, like this one is bad. This one is just bad. This is the one that I would probably switch. Even if I were to switch this, and even if I were to get something like a really powerful crit rate, crit damage artifact bonus, let's say that I end up getting, I don't know, like an extra 28% crit damage on that artifact, when I actually put it into the mathematical table, that would only increase my damage by like 4%. It's a 4% damage increase. It's not that much. Just because of how much diluted it already is. It starts getting a bit better once I start putting more multipliers and stuff of that matter, so it is something that ends up mattering. But even then, I just don't, like, well, what can I do? It took me close to like 3 months just to get the artifacts that I have right now, and they're not even that good. This is the best cryo artifact that I have, and it only has like a small amount of crit rate. I think the ones that I ended up getting that were actually fairly good was this one, which ended up rolling a lot into crit rate. It ended up rolling a little bit into attack, which is kind of unfortunate, but I did get a little bit of energy recharge along the way. It's not that bad. It's definitely not something glorious or perfect, but it's the best that I have accomplished in like 3 months of farming. So it's not like I can just say something like, oh, get better artifacts. I think this is probably the best one that I ended up getting. It ended up rolling twice into crit damage and once into attack percent. So that's probably like the best case scenario that I could have gotten for this particular flower. I know it doesn't have crit rate, that's probably like the one thing that you can make it better, but even that's only like 3% extra crit rate. Remove the Elemental Mastery maybe, get another stat. Again, even if I were to remove all of this and end up getting more like perfect stats, the maximum amount that I could possibly get would end up being like a 20% damage increase, which is substantial. It's fairly important, but I don't even think that 20% extra damage would be enough to finish this. It might be something that I work towards in the future. I do still have to farm a little bit on that one. This is the other part that I ended up getting. 2 rolls into crit. 1 into crit damage and 1 into crit rate. It's alright. A lot of it went to Elemental Mastery, which is unfortunate. I do have another flower that I could potentially try to level up that's okay-ish. But that's kind of just like a That's kind of just like a die roll, really. This would have to roll into crit rate for me to consider using this over this. Unfortunately, the artifact requirements of what they expect us to have is just too ridiculous. Just getting 3 rolls into a crit stat is already ridiculously difficult. We have to remember all the layers of randomness that comes with getting artifacts. Like some of these artifacts, the percentage chance of me getting them is so low that even considering trying to replace them with something better is probably looking at 4 months of work for a single artifact. I don't have like 4,000 resin to just spend on artifact farming. It's too difficult. You just can't do it. We gotta consider, we have to get the correct main stat, then we have to get the correct the correct substats. Then once we get the correct substats, we have to level it up and hope that we get the correct level ups multiple times. It's just not doable without massive amounts of investment. Oh yeah, please go ahead. I love to see people get good artifacts. I think the best artifact that I've gotten, period, I think is probably either this one, which ended up being like one of the best crit rate artifacts that I have. It has 31% crit rate and 26% of the crit damage. That ended up being really, really good. And there was another one. This one. This one is probably the other one that has been like one of my best artifacts. It ended up rolling 28 into crit damage, and it already had the crit rate passive. The only time that it rolled into something that wasn't crit damage was the last one, which rolled into HP. Which is fine, it's not the end of the world. I ended up getting a pretty decent amount of crit damage. This is probably my best artifact. And that is like after a year. And a lot of people would consider this just mediocre. I think another good one that I ended up getting was this one. This one was pretty good. I can still technically get one more stat. A chance of it being higher. Actually, now that I think about it, this one's probably my best rolled artifact. My Diona, yeah. Yeah, good point. Let's take a look at this tragedy of events, shall we? This piece is actually okay. It's not bad. It's one of those pieces that ended up just kind of happening. Funny thing is, this is the second piece that I've gotten for Tenacity of the Millith, the head. I'm not farming this out. I'm not farming this artifact set anymore. It is way too annoying. It doesn't give me enough value. I'm just sticking with this. I know that I could give my Diona more HP, make the shield stronger, all of that. This is funnier. This is just way funnier. This one's actually pretty okay that I ended up having because it's a fairly generic one that I can just transfer over to another one. Attack percentage does end up being a pretty decent boost once you've gotten a whole bunch of crit. I think the point at which crit starts getting devalued very massively is somewhere around the 170% mark. At that point, it's often better to invest into other things that are lower, usually attack percentage, or if you can, trying to get different types of damage bonuses. Damage bonus is usually the hardest stat to level up, and that's why things like Mona often represent such a high increase in value in damage as well, just because there's not a lot of ways of getting that stat. That's actually one of the reasons why Yoimiya can pretty much ignore her artifact sets entirely, because she overloads that stat instantly. Like, she has... what is it? Her elemental skill gives like 170 bonus damage just from the press. In addition to that, she has like a 20% innate pyro damage bonus from one of her ascension passives. She instantly devalues that entire stat to the point where it's often better to just do different things. In fact, I was actually running a couple calculations, and in a lot of scenarios, you might not even equip Yoimiya with a pyro damage goblet. I would still do it because the burst doesn't get that much benefit. So the burst damage does get tampered a little bit, and the burst does have decent scaling. It's not the end-all be-all. I just prefer it more. If you want the mathematical bonus, you'd probably actually go for attack percentage, as weird as that sounds. That's something that's also likely going to happen to Ball, but that's a conversation for another time. I would still recommend pyro damage bonus, but if you don't have that, a attack percentage goblet might not be a bad idea for you and me either. Yeah, the Royal Plume is probably the best one that I've gotten so far. This is the tragedy of my the tragedy. I call it a comedy, really. I love the fact that my Iota is this powerful. It is absolutely hilarious. So that's the crit rate stat. This one's the HP stat, which also ended up being really good. This is the other HP stat, which 20% crit damage. Oh, that's just hilarious. This one didn't end up being that much of a comedy. This one actually ended up being pretty good for me because it ended up giving me a lot of HP. I would have preferred if it had been percent HP. Would have I preferred that actually? Let's see. Yeah, 10%. 10% is equivalent to what I ended up getting from flat. Still, this ended up being a fairly decent plume. I don't think I would farm for another one because again, it's not really gonna matter that much. And this one, this one's pretty good. It's kind of funny. You pulled for Mist Player and it took 201? Damn, that's insane. Yeah, that's the weapon banner. Weapon banner is like just a complete scam. And at this point, honestly, we're not even getting character power creep, we're getting weapon power creep. I legitimately don't feel like I can beat this floor no matter how many constellations I have on any character. Maybe Ayaka, but even then, I probably wouldn't do it. I feel like I legitimately just need better rank 5 weapons, and that's kind of the problem, isn't it? They're impossible to get. I would find it very hard to believe that MiHoYo's not doing this on purpose. I think they've pretty much noticed how a lot of their banners can be pretty dry. Probably noticed that during the Kaching banner. So they're more than likely shifting their focus to, rather than making the characters good, they're just gonna make the weapons good. And try to get money that way. Makes sense from a business perspective. That's gonna suck really, really bad for us. I'm hopeful that they find a balance, but if this is a business, anything could prove it. Not super sure. Not super sure. Damn, your Hurtao's doing 70k on a charge tag. That's pretty good. Maybe Hurtao could actually help me a little bit. Even then, I don't think I would be able to build her properly. I don't have any weapons for her. Yeah, I have like no spears whatsoever. But yeah, this is kind of like the tragedy of my Diona. Oh, so much crit damage and crit rate on the support character. They might do a rerun for Hurtao relatively soon. I think they're probably fairly... They're probably going to keep the reruns for characters like Ganyu and Hurtao up basically for when they need money. More than likely, that's what's going to end up happening. I think, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have spread out some fairly understandable rumors that we're due for a Ganyu rerun. It's probably going to take a while, though. I think Inasuma's getting them too much trouble at the moment. So, Ganyu is probably going to take a very long time. Hurtao is probably going to take a very long time. If I were to take a bet for Hurtao, I'll probably bet on next year. April, probably. I don't think they're gonna do Ganyu so close to Raiden Shogun. If anything, I feel it more realistic for it to be like 2.2, 2.3. More than likely, what I'm expecting is, I'm expecting we're probably going to be getting Raiden Shogun, then we're going to be getting Kokomi, then we're going to be getting, whatever 5-star from Mizuma we're going to be getting next. We haven't really seen a lot of which one it could be. I don't think it's going to be Goro. I don't think Goro is going to be a 5-star for that matter. It's probably going to be a different one that we haven't seen so far. If I were to guess, it would probably be Yae. That's the one that makes the most sense to me. But we don't really know what they're working on. I don't expect reruns to be happening until, like, after Inazuma has been fully released. And I'm expecting that to happen all the way up into, like, December. I have seen Aloe, actually, and she doesn't look that bad, in all honesty. She looks like what Amber should have been. I think her design is fine. I don't think she's gonna be like a world destroyer or anything of that sort, but she has a very spammable burst that can be melted fairly easily. It looks like it's AoE. We don't really know how big the AoE is, but just the simple fact that it's gonna be AoE is probably gonna be good enough already. More than likely, you're going to be able to combine it with things like Venti, or just combine her in specific combinations. I, for one, am probably going to try to do a combination of Ayaka Aloe alongside Venti and Mona just to see how effective it is. It could be funny. Who knows? Maybe I'll give her my Diona artifacts. Now that would be funny. She's probably gonna end up being okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with Aloe. She's gonna be a nice addition. She's not gonna be like super powerful or anything. But for people starting out, she's probably gonna be the first character they're gonna be using for freeze compositions, which is fairly decent. More than likely, you're gonna be pairing her with things like Sucrose. You're gonna be pairing her with things like Venti. She's likely going to be a burst support for other freeze compositions. Probably the one that I just mentioned, really. Even though that one is very, very frail. But the entire purpose is that you're going to be using that for a... You're going to be using that for speedruns. You're not going to be using it for sustainability. She's going to have a fairly good place in Genshin. Not too overpowered, not too weak, nothing of that sort. Really good for starter players. I'm completely good with Aloe. You're surprised that she's free. Yeah, that is pretty surprising, but I mean, I guess it is the anniversary for Genshin, so it's... They probably thought they had to do something relatively big. Hoping that that's not going to be the only thing we're going to be getting for the anniversary, but... We got Inazuma, that's probably already more than enough. More than enough work on their plate. I don't think we're going to be getting a big event. Aloe and Inazuma are probably going to be what we should expect for the anniversary. I'm not expecting anything else. Maybe like a giveaway on different platforms. I'm not expecting anything big. But I'm surprised at how powerful Aloe is looking. I 100% thought that they were just going to make like a bland copy of another character hovering over Amber for no reason. But she ended up being pretty good. I think she's going to have a fairly decent spot. She has a little bit of buffing capabilities, which are going to be nice, especially with the Nemo characters. I have nothing bad to say about Aloe. Oh yeah, I guess she does come out early for PS5 players, doesn't it? Yeah, who knows? We'll see what ends up happening. Sony just wants to advertise their New Horizon game. Makes sense. This is probably how you do it. But anyways, with that out of the way, I have been streaming for almost 3 hours. So I should probably take a little bit of a rest and maybe start working on that Genshin Explained video. If you enjoyed, thank you all very much for watching. And I will be seeing you next time. Portals